Good morning and aloha. Welcome to Just Talking 24, page 51. Before we go any farther, Merry Christmas, everybody out there. Um, it's been a I always talk about balance, yeah, and it for me. It's been a very mixed balance because you're happy because I love this time of year. I love Christmas, which is really weird because I really don't like religion, and yet what is Christmas based in, right? So anyway, that's the yin yang of it. It's a time of happiness, time of great joy, but also a time of sadness because you remember Christmas of times past, and always brings a tear. Well, nowadays it brings a tear to my eye. Thinking about growing up, you watch TV and all these families have traditions and everything, but my family, Christmas was for the kids. It was for the kids, and it was the preamble to our New Year's celebration, and I'll be talking about that next week. But this year, it's really funny. Well, now that I notice politics more, the poor the political commentators and podcasters and everything, they've really had nothing to talk about. I mean, President Trump isn't stopped. He keeps rolling, rolling, rolling. The Democrats are getting weaker and weaker and weaker because they're sounding like broken records. They're saying the same thing over and over and over, and people just not buying it anymore. And the Democrats got to find something new. Now they're hitting that ACA, Affordable Care Act, because at and that's the funny part. The Senate just they said, well, they soundly they soundly denounced it or whatever. They soundly passed the um, the bill that's gonna end it. They're gonna end the subsidies, which is great. I mean, the insurance companies were trying everything they could. They've been hitting from all sides. Everybody. I mean, they put old people on, on the TV. We're going to lose our health care. No, you're not going to lose your health care. You're just going to get more choices because you're going to have the money. They keep saying that, Trump, 24,000 Hawaii people are not going to have health care. Well, they're going to have health care. You know, the the Democratic Party for years has used fear, unfounded fear, but they just throw this fear into you. You know, remember the Vietnam War? If the communists take over South Vietnam, they're going to take over Laos, then they're going to take over Cambodia, they're going to take over Thailand. The domino effect. Never happened. COVID, you don't take the shot, you won't die. Never happened. Everyone had to take the shot except who? Congress and their their staff, the immediate staff. They were exempt from it. I would like to have the statistics, and I cannot find it. Okay, I've been looking. I'm looking for the statistics of the number of Congress people, congressmen, senators, Congress people, or their immediate staff that got sick and died from COVID. I can't find it. Yet they were exempt from this so-called wonder shot, from this vaccine. You know, um, I don't know what other more proof you need to that for that fiasco. But nothing has been happening except we've put up embargo on the oil on Venezuela. And what can the Democrats say about that? Because it has been shown. I mean, we went in there and we wiped out a cartel-run drug-producing plant. We wiped them off the face of the earth, and there was no big fights about from the Democrats. Trump signed a bill that decriminalized marijuana. We made it to a level 3 narcotic, which is all fine and good. But the thing is, the, my main peeve about drugs. I mean, I don't. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't. I believe that drugs do certain things. Hey, in high school, I experimented. I took them. Okay, I'm not perfect, but what I don't condone, not for any point, of anything, is that if you're under the influence of drugs and you were told about it. Now, the illegal drugs we told, if you haven't been told, you've been living under a rock. But I mean, even prescription drugs, your doctor, he should, before prescribing, say, hey, you take this is going to happen, or this may happen. So you got to be careful. As long as you're warned, then being under that drug and committing a crime, that's not a pardon. That doesn't, in fact, it may even make it even worse. It's like, assaulting somebody and that person is over 65, the penalty is worse. Same principle. If you're under drugs, it's worse because you should know better. And if you don't, then you're going to just find out. Like I told you, it's responsibility. And this kind of stuff gotta, you gotta do it. We have to do it. We've got to be. President Trump is only one man and he only can do so much. Okay, we gotta help. But that's why we will never recover. I mean, it looks good now, and people are saying, we're turning around, we're going up. But everybody gotta do their part. Kennedy said it, right? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country, because this is your country. You can do for your country, not the country, not our country, your country. This is our country, folks. This is my little bit. Okay, I'm like I said, I'm slow, so it took me a while to figure it out. But it just taking me a long time to figure out that I didn't do as much as I could. I mean, not jump into politics or anything like that, but talking to people, it made me realize what I hadn't realized. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I watch a lot of X. Yeah, man, people are stupid. I mean, I thought I was slow, but I am. I'm for that word. I'm retarded, but retarded only means to slow. I use retard when I was baking. I use retard a lot of times, and that's because of our dough. I have to put the frozen dough into the icebox to retard it. How was the thing defrosted, or how was it thawed? It was retarded. That means it was slowly brought back to temperature. We do the same with our Thanksgiving turkeys. You bring a frozen turkey home. Excuse me. Bring a frozen turkey home, and you put it in the icebox. That's retarded. Retard just means slow, and we're all retarded. People, they don't like that word. Oh well, the kids today, they don't like it when we do this. Hey, it's Fonzie that, hey. But that's a positive thing. They said it's impulsive to them. Why? Because they're so negative. They're just trying to antagonize. Like these people just want to make trouble. I don't know why. And when it hits them in the face, then they cry. That's our future, gang. That's the future that you made. I didn't make them. I didn't make any kids, I think. But there was this sign that says, if you're not, and it showed, and it was on I don't know if it was BS or what, but it was a sign on a business that said, and it was an eating establishment, if you're not willing to tip 25%, please do not come in. And I go, are these people stupid? I mean, really, no, really. You're chasing away business. Oh, by the way, I'm using my lavalier mic this morning. I'm going to be doing a how-to video, and I just want to run 30 minutes through this setup because I'm going to be using it when I do my demonstrations. Demonstrations, I'm totally off, off camera, but because my hands are working, I can't be talking into a mic. It's not convenient. So I'll just be talking like this with a lavalier. The only thing was this lavalier is so delicate. I have a clock about 25 feet away from me on the opposite wall. A wall clock. I had to turn it off because you could hear the tick, tick, tick. It was driving me nuts. I go, what is that sound? That's my wall clock. Yes, that's how sensitive this lavalier is. It's in what they call unidirectional, omnidirectional, whatever. But it's very sensitive, and it's not an expensive one. It's a cheap one. Just I got lucky. It's really good. But anyway, that's why if I sound a little different this morning, you guys can tell I got this little black bug crawling on my neck. Yeah. And anyway, going back to the tipping. I thought about it and I figured out why. Like, there was this one person that posted, this is how you tip. And you take your total, you take off the last number. Okay? Then that number over there, you multiply it by 4. Then whatever your total is, you move over 2 places and you put a decimal point. And that's the tip you leave. And when I saw that, I go, that is a 40% tip. Nobody tips 40%, I mean, especially at the prices of food today. Who can? And they say, well, if you can't afford to tip, don't come in. But you know why they want that tip so high? Do you know why? I figured it out. It's all free money, folks. And even the noise from the road is louder. But that's all free money. President Trump's big, beautiful bill, he stopped all tips on, all taxes on what? On tips. Right? All taxes on tips. So if the more tips the kids can make, and some of them you can make double or triple your hourly salary, your hourly pay on good tips, and it's all tax free. And that wasn't the intention of President's bill. And so all the people gotta do is don't go, don't eat out. Or if you tip, don't tip. And there are videos of people, customers being chased by the waiting people, saying, "Where's my tip? Where's my tip?" And they don't understand what a tip is. Like I said last week, people don't understand what mega is. They think mega's a machine. No, it's a concept. Tipping too. Tipping is a gratuity. In other words, I'm thankful for the service that you provided me above and beyond the regular service. And I gave you that example about that girl that I went when we went to Las Vegas. This was back in the days when the phones weren't that readily available. The computers on the phones, and most of the businesses we went into, they had computers in the business, but nothing portable. And I asked her for where this coffee place was, and she not only printed me a map, she walked outside with me, and she pointed out the streets that I gotta go. And this girl couldn't have been more than 15 or 16 years old. See, that's the kind of customer service that, she got a good tip. I gave her a pretty good tip. And I told her, do not ever lose your customer service, habits. You gotta get into customer service. And I don't mean working. You gotta be in there and you gotta show people how to do customer service. You have it in you, go for it. And I always wondered what happened to her, because she gotta be in her 40s now. Yeah. She gotta be a mommy or something like that. But anyway, we used to give customer service. Like I said, I've been known to get a penny, put it in a water glass, put the butter glass over the water glass with a napkin, or with a paper towel, and flip the whole thing over. Here's your tip. I mean, that's for exceptionally bad service. I mean, and if you ever been to a downtown Chinese, old-fashioned Chinese restaurant, you will know what bad service is. But for them, that's the par. You know, this old Chinese lady come up to you, what you like, what you like, what you like. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Eat, get out of customers, out of customers. Come on, come on, come on, come on. But that was natural. I mean, that was just part of it. We used to just, plus we're all drunk, so we don't really care. And the rest of the people in there are drunk too. That was called Tin Tin Chop Suey. You see the criminals in there, you see the judges, the doctors, the lawyers. I mean, you see all the guys in there, all drunk. That's how it used to be. See what I mean? When you, in this week, you think of, the positive, and that's one of the positive things. Those are the good old days. I see it today, and just, it makes me sad that, when we're not that unified together. I mean, we say we are, but we're not. We're more fragmented than ever. And, President Trump, he just keeps plugging along. He has to be the way he is, because anybody who really, really, really cared about what people thought about him could not do the job. He has a goal. He's going to do that goal. And until he is proven wrong, and so far he's been, knock wood, he's been pretty much on it. And I know that's not, I mean, it's him, but he has a good group of advisors. That's what it is. You've gotta have a good group of advisors. I use that AI. Remember I talked about AI the other week? And so I used the one on Microsoft. And cannot. AI, I mean, it's, all it is just knowledge. That's all. You got to ask the right questions. I'm thinking about, like, when my wife, once a year, she goes for MRI. And her MRIs can take up to 5 hours because they MRI different parts of the body. But, okay, this is the part. They don't do it all one time. You MRI the thorax, you MRI the chest, you MRI the pelvis, you MRI the abdomen, any part you MRI. That's a separate MRI, but they can't do the whole thing one time because insurance won't pay. Go figure this out. The insurance won't pay for a full body scan MRI. Okay? But they will pay if you break the body up. Okay? But because you break the body up, each one has to be a separate operation, a separate procedure. And because of the separate procedures, I don't know if they check the work number or the job number or whatever, but they give her, one here, and then she has to wait for one or two people. Then she gets another one. Then she has to wait for one. I don't understand the system, but that's the way the system works. So sometimes it takes us about 5 hours for the whole procedure to be done. And then and so I gotta do something. What do you do for 5 hours? Well, I look over these. I have a external drive, SSD, and I hook it up to my laptop, and I watch the back pages of Just Talking 24. But I thought, I have DVDs. I can download them to a external hard drive, and then I can play my movies. Well, come to find out, that's easier said than done. Um, because of encrypting and you know what you call trademark, trademark protections and all this kind of stuff. I've got to like download three different apps. One is Handbrake. One is this. Um, oh, what was that one? It's 6 letters or 8 letters. Yeah, LVD. The LIB DVD CSS -2 DLL, something like that for Windows. That's another app. And then the final app is Make MKV. Just to put those 3 apps into my computer, because these are not, I don't know how many are American. Handbrake was easy. Handbrake went right in. But that LIB, DVD CSS is British, and it's not made. It's made for Linux. It's not made for Windows. Well, it's compatible, but you gotta go to a separate site for Windows, and and you're talking to Mr. Computer Illiterate, right? And so I went around and around and around. I downloaded the wrong thing. They said, "Oh no, no, not that one." I said, "But that's the one you told me." "Oh, but you're not supposed to be on that page. You're supposed to be on this page." I said, "How do I get to that page?" And they send me, and I go back to the page that I originally was. I just was going round and around. Hours I took. I'm still not done yet. I'm still not done yet. And then after all the time of that LVD, come to find out I don't need it. It says, "Oh yeah, because of this is not needed." Then why did you tell me to put it down? See, that's what I mean about, you know, that's what I mean about artificial intelligence. It doesn't reason. There's no reasoning. All it is just knowledge, and it's just picking up key words that you use, that you type in. So I gotta be very careful what words I type in, and I don't know what's the wrong words until I type them in, and I went to there, and then went to there, went to there, went all around the world for nothing. That's how frustrating it is. So if any of you guys know how to do it, please, yeah, drop me a comment. Also, another thing, I don't know if my page has the subscribe icon, this corner, right over here. It's supposed to have an icon over here. I can't bring it up on my computers because it's my system, so it's not going to show me what I have on my system. So I don't know how you check. Yeah, trust me, trust me. But if it doesn't have that icon and you tell your friends to like and subscribe, just go to YouTube and tell them, just punch in Jus Talkin 24. Okay, when you get on there, hit the like, and then they're supposed to have something for subscribe. Oh, it's funny. That's why I don't like computers. They're supposed to be so intelligent, but they really they lack. They're great if you know exactly what you're doing. It's like Fry's. You ever been to Fry's electrical shops in the mainland? Beautiful places, very impressive. I walked into. I don't know if they're in business anymore, but they had one in Vegas, and I went with my nephews because my nephews, they're computer literate. In fact, one is licensed by California to repair computers. Yeah, he knows computers inside and out, as far as operational. And I think he knows how they operate, how to actually program and download. But anyway, we walked into Fry's, and I was impressed because, locally we had Radio Shack. Okay? Okay. And if you've ever been in a Fry's, this thing is just spacious. And he said, "The only thing is, Uncle, you gotta know exactly what you want." I go, "What?" I said, "The part number, everything." He says, "Well, not necessarily the part number, but you have to know exactly what the part does." It's like you go into an auto parts store and you tell them, "My car's not working." and that's it. You know, duh. You know, but if you say I'd like a turn signal indicator for a 1962, Dodge Dart, boom, they give you exactly what you want. Same thing with fries. Fries is, is like that. So I understood it. So I said, so you gotta know electronics to be in here. He goes, yeah. And the place was pretty crowded at the time. And I believe they've gone downhill because the kids today, they use their products, but they don't know what they're doing with it. You know what I mean? They don't understand what they have in their hand. The stuff, that little iPhone that you got could have, well, actually, could have powered a moonshot. It has enough capacity in memory and everything to do the moonshot. The only thing is, it's not programmed to do a moonshot. Yeah, a lot of variables come in, and then there goes your program. You gotta have the human factor. You gotta have that because you don't know what's happening out there. But this week, I hope your Christmas is sunny and bright like Hawaii. Yeah, right, rainy right now, but all your Christmases be white. No, not in Hawaii. The only white we got is on Mauna Kea, and once in a great while, Haleakala. But I just hope that all of you are with the family, and I hope Santa brings you what you wanted. If not, it's in the mail. Trust me. But yeah, it's been a great year, folks. We make 1 year on Just Talking. And next week is going to be for the New Year's. And that'll be a fun show because I'm going to tell you what we used to do in New Year's. And this week, like I said, President Trump. Oh, by the way, I loved what he did with the troops, giving each one $1,776 as a bonus. I love that. That's the guy got class, man. And he did it as an executive order. He didn't do it, without Congress. He told Congress he was doing it. He told Congress he was doing it. That's the way the guy is, man. What can you say? I mean, when you got a leader like that, the hell. But I just want to say for you again, Merry Christmas, and look forward to a new year. And you guys have a great week. Stay dry, stay safe. And I want to see you next year. Now, as before, like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. I'm trying to get the word out. I've got 22 subscribers now, so I'm getting there. Every time I see that 22, I think about Ghostbusters. Not Ghostbusters. Yeah, the afterlife. And that one guy, the one kid that got the Dan Aykroyd is his one subscriber, but he keeps going on, and that's the picture that comes to my mind that keeps me going on. And it's been a fun year. I've learned a lot. And I'm so thankful for it. Thank God above, and thank you below. And I don't mean below. I mean here on earth. Peace to you all, and on my goodwill. So from me to you, ahui ho, malama pono, and always aloha, and melekaliki maka, meka haole maka hiki ho. See you next week. Bye-bye.